So as we know in Blue Lock, most of the main casts have abilities that we call weapons, and these abilities usually differ between the characters and their positions. For example, someone like Aiku, who is an amazing defender, wouldn't have a weapon of an amazing direct shot. And in this video, I'll be going over my top 5 best weapons in Blue Lock, and I'll be basing the rankings off of course, how much they can help you in the game. Now before we begin, I'd like to ask you that if you enjoyed the video, of course make sure to like it and also subscribe to my channel, since I make high quality Blue Lock content, and you should check out some more of my videos as well. And I'd also like to say that this is all my personal opinion. If you have a different ranking, go ahead and drop it in the comments down below, because I'd like to see your opinions. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off with honorable mentions, I have 3 in particular, and they're not ranked in any particular order, so I'll just go over them right here, starting with Kunigami's physicality. Now the first time we see Kunigami's amazing physicality after the wild card is in the Germany Stratum, where they're doing their little training to determine their rankings, and Kunigami ranks 3rd, whereas nobody in Blue Lock ranked higher than 13. Now the first time he shows it in game is in the Spain versus Germany match, where instead of passing the ball, he just uses a super egoistic type of play, completely blowing through the defense with just his amazing physicality alone. But the problem with this physicality is that it's very hard to keep up with people with fast-paced dribbling, such as Bachira, and we actually see this when he's actually able to keep up with Bachira a little bit, but when Bachira just speeds up, he completely gets past Kunigami. Now this ability is pretty amazing, but trust me, there are some better. Now the next ability I have up here for an honorable mention is actually Bachira's dribbling, specifically his more sophisticated dribbling that he shows in the 10 days after entering the Neo Egoist League. After learning under Spain's genius, Lavinho, Bachira acquires a more sophisticated and passive way of dribbling and learned to make what Isagi calls a more adult-like choice. And his dribbling range is also increased tremendously according to Isagi. And this dribbling also allows him to link up with his teammates, allowing them to score amazing chemical reaction goals when his dribbling previously was thought to be unpredictable. Now the final honorable mention I have up here is Lorenzo's defensive abilities. Now I'll be honest, since this is a striker-based manga, I am kind of biased towards the striker-based abilities, so the defensive abilities can't really go too high here, but Lorenzo's abilities are undoubtedly world class, with him being stated to be the best center back under 20 and the best defender under 20. But with the honorable mentions out of the way, we can get into the actual ranking. Starting with number 5, the Kaiser impact. Now I know that statement alone triggered a lot of people, specifically the Kaiser fanboys, but I have to say this ability is kind of a one-trick pony. And while that by no means an ability is bad, this ability just falls short in comparison to the other abilities, so I'd like you to please stay and listen to my reasoning. Now to briefly go over the Kaiser impact, it's one of the best abilities a striker can have, being able to kick the ball the fastest in the world with your right foot. And yes, even faster than Noah, the world's best striker. Seeing this ability alone is enough to tell Isagi that Kaiser surpasses his own ideal form. Even though Isagi is shown to have like an S tier direct shot, the direct shot that Isagi has just doesn't compare. Showing that speed isn't the only thing that this shot has, but it's also accuracy. And Isagi even goes as far as saying that it's a perfect unparalleled way of turning a 0 into a 1, which is basically the sole reason for making Blue Lock, to turn a 0 into a 1. Basically showing that with this amazing ability, Kaiser is the true embodiment of Blue Lock's ideals. Now this ability is truly divine and there's not many things that can stop it, not to mention that you can't really learn it. It's something that is just gifted naturally, and if you don't have it, you simply don't have it. But the problem comes when you realize that it can't really do much on its own. And what I'm basically getting at here is there's a reason why Kaiser always has someone like Ness right by his side. So if you don't have amazing speed to get through the defense or amazing attacking abilities to get through the defense, you basically probably will never be able to score a goal. Which is why the Germany team centers around Kaiser, since he has the best striking ability and best chances of scoring a goal with his ability. But as we're seeing in the manga right now, there's nothing that Kaiser can really do when there's just a better defender on him. Ever since Lorenzo the Ace Eater started locking down Kaiser, we haven't seen him do a single thing, and matter of fact, when Kaiser tried to stop him from locking him down with Ness, it simply failed. So the Kaiser impact is definitely an amazing ability, but it does have its shortcomings, being a very tunnel vision-esque ability. Now of course with someone like Kaiser, this is a truly amazing ability and it's demonstrated, but Kaiser also is someone with Metavision and an amazing team around him, which allows him basically guaranteed passes, and if he gets to the penalty area, a basically free goal. Now for number 4, it was really hard for me to choose between number 4 and number 3, so it's fine if you say they're interchangeable, but I'll start with Godspeed, Julian Loki's ability. Now Loki is widely regarded as the fastest character in Blue Lock as of now that we've seen, and I probably wouldn't disagree with this notion. Now we don't know much about Godspeed since we haven't seen it very much, and in fact the only time we have seen it is in the Blue Lock vs World 5 match, but I have almost no doubt in my mind that we will see it in the PXG vs Germany match. Now when Loki uses this ability in the World 5 match, Isagi's trying to guard him from a fairly far distance away, and Loki simply says, "Is this okay?" because at this distance you've got nothing but weak spots, and takes his first step completely blitzing past Isagi. Like seriously, Isagi doesn't even notice until he's already quite a fair bit past him. Now with this explosive acceleration, he's able to get past everyone else on the field, and even when Rin, someone with one of the best foresights in the block facility as of this point in time, catches up with him, he tells Rin that he's got good foresight, but he's simply faster, and accelerates even more, blitzing past Rin as well and scoring his goal. With this amazing accelerating power and his dribbling, he's able to become the best upcoming member in France, and even represent France at a world-class level at only 17. He's the age of the Blue Lockers. Not to mention that Loki is not only one of the World 5 members, but he's also a member of the Masters in the Neo Equus League, and this alone puts him leagues above other players. Now as for Godspeed itself, it's this high, or specifically higher than Kaiser's ability, because it can do things on its own. With Godspeed, if you're able to simply grab the ball and keep it in your feet, you can literally run past anyone without any trouble at all, unless they have something like Metavision, in which case they might be able to catch you if you don't have it as well. But this also isn't just an ability suited for a striker, it can really be used for any forward position or even midfield positions. So it's overall just much more versatile and obviously just a better ability in my opinion than the Kaiser Impact and the honorable mentions that I mentioned before. And I also have to mention that in the World 5 match, Loki wasn't even going his full speed, but it was still portrayed as leagues above the Blue Lockers, so you know, obviously it is an amazing ability and can get you leagues above most players just by having it. Now after Godspeed in this ranking, I actually have at number 3 Metavision. Now I'm sure everybody at this point in the series knows what Metavision is, but of course I'll quickly go over it. In its most basic form, Metavision is an ability that allows you to take in information constantly from your peripheral and central vision and constantly input them into your brain so you know what's happening at all times, allowing you basically to have a 4D vision of the field as if seeing it from on top like a drone. This in turn allows you to basically never get caught off guard unless it's someone you haven't seen on the field or someone who has Metavision as well, as we've seen in the newest chapter with Isagi and Nico. And this ability also allows you to be at the best place at the best time, seemingly coincidentally, but obviously just thanks to your Metavision. Now the narrative of this ability is that it's basically the gatekeeping ability that keeps the normal people from the pros. And it's something that if you gain will basically guarantee a road to a pro level, or guarantee or at least breaking through to that level, since as we see with Isagi, Noah says after seeing that Isagi has Metavision and seeing his play, that this can lead him right to Noah as the world's #1 striker. But this ability of course does have its downside, which is insane stamina drain, so using it for 90 minutes is very straining on the body and needs a lot of training to do. But whenever someone uses this ability, it brings them to the next level. We see this when Rayo goes into his flow state, I'll say, with Nagi in the Germany versus Manshan City match, and this allows him to score a pinpoint pass to Nagi to the perfect point where Isagi and Kaiser couldn't interfere with it. We also see this when Isagi gains Metavision, and he's able to see on the same level as someone like Kaiser, and actually gets to the same place at the same time, making them collide into each other. But it was just showing that Isagi is getting to the next level, making plays that Kaiser as well is able to see. And Kaiser even says that they saw the same. Now the reason that this ability is so important is because Isagi says that it's likely that all the pros in the world have this ability, and that would mean that to compete on this world-class level, you need the same amount of vision as they do, or else you're just not going to get there. And when people do get it, they show almost unparalleled levels of evolution, which is why Metavision is one of the most important abilities on a world-class scale, and an ability that is necessary to survive in that type of world. If you want to learn more about Metavision and its mechanics, I made a video on it previously and I'll link it here so you can check it out. It's a pretty good video, so I'd really recommend it. But moving on to number 2 is Rayo's ability, Copy. Now Rayo's ability basically allows him to copy anyone up to 99% just by seeing their ability at least once. And for the sake of the video, we'll of course be taking it as the person with the ability has the same stats as Rayo, since without it, you wouldn't be able to copy anything really. That's really where the ability comes into clutch. So having a very good stat in all categories, as well as being able to copy almost any ability, allows for an amazingly dangerous player to be born on the field. The only real limitation that this ability has is that it can't copy things like the Kaiser Impact, since those are literal physical gifts that people are given, but basically everything else is free game. With this ability, Rayo is even able to copy the movements of someone like Seitoshi, an amazing new generation 11 player and arguably the best midfielder under 20 in the series. He's also able to copy Rin's shot, although it is a little bit worse. And as I mentioned before, the real danger of this ability is its amazing versatility. Because a player like Rayo can adapt to almost any position, this makes him a very rare gem on the field and allows for this ability to truly thrive. And the fact that he only needs a glimpse of an ability to use copy on it means that you can't really hide anything from him. And if you throw something crazy at him, he can probably just throw it right back at your team. But I think you can pretty much understand why I have this ability here. It's one of the most dangerous and broken abilities we've seen to date, and when it's able to be used at a world class level, it'll definitely be deadly. And with all that being said, you must wonder how can I possibly put something above it, but to that I say, there's only one best striker in the world, and that is Noah Noah. So the ability I would have above Copy is Noah Noah's God-given talent of being ambidextrous. The first time we see this ability is when Noah Noah subs in the Germany versus Spain match, and Isagi says that Noah Noah's greatest weapon is not having a perfect body or a perfect brain, and it's the fact that he doesn't lose power no matter which leg he uses, which makes it so he can be called all-powerful. Now having this ability to the degree of Noah Noah makes you basically unpredictable to anyone you face. Since you have a 5-star weak foot, there's basically no one in front of the goal that can really stop you. Now of course there are people other than Noah Noah in the manga that are ambidextrous, but just not to this degree. There are of course people that can shoot with their right and left legs such as Isagi and Kunigami, but no one can shoot with both legs with the same power in each. And it's not even only his shot, it's anything he can do with his right or left leg, he can do with the opposite one as well. And Isagi even calls it an incomparable God-given blessing. And also, as we know from Kunigami and the Wildcard project, not anyone can gain this ability and you have to have very specific physical specs, similar to Noah Noah's body. But if you are able to use this ability, you're pretty much guaranteed a ticket right to the world class level. But that's basically all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, of course make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment down below your rankings since I want to see them and compare them to my own. And of course remember, this is only my ranking. But that's all. Goodbye.